first time you access your Conferences IO application, you'll immediately be asked to enter your admin password. After logging in, you'll be brought to your admin dashboard. You can think of the admin dashboard as the control center for your app. Once sessions have been created on your application, you can sign in as the admin by using the link at the bottom of the navigation menu, or by simply adding \admin to the end of your app's URL. Once you're signed in as the admin, you can get back to the admin dashboard at any time by using the admin button within the navigation menu. As an admin, the first thing you'll want to do is make sure that you have your application set to the correct time zone. Your application's time zone is critical for attendance tracking because attendees' check-in and check-out times need to be aligned with the session start and end times for reporting purposes. Time zone alignment can also affect other functionality within Conferences IO, such as preventing attendees from checking into a session too early, or at what time the session evaluation survey becomes available. The next step is to make sure that the attendance tracking modes that you plan to use are enabled on your app. From the admin dashboard, navigate to Attendance Tracking Modes. Here, you'll see the 3 different attendance tracking modes that we offer, and you can use the checkboxes to enable or disable the different modes. Keep in mind that you may not have access to certain attendance tracking modes, depending on what features were purchased. The Attendance Tracking Modes and Settings page will also display the current information that attendees will be asked to enter when they check into a session. Conferences IO offers name and email address as default ID fields. We always recommend requiring both name and email for attendance tracking purposes, so make sure that both are enabled. Name and email are typically the only information that is needed, but if you want to ask attendees for some additional information, you can do so by clicking the Attendee Identification Fields link. This allows you to add specific instructions to your existing fields or to create new ones. By default, the ID fields will be open-ended text boxes, but you can create multiple choice type questions by using the pipe or vertical bar symbol on your keyboard. For example, if I want to know whether or not my attendees need to claim CPE from the session, I'll type in the question, then add 2 bars. Type my first answer option, add 2 bars, and then type my next answer option. Here's what the attendees will now see when they reach the check-in page. Alright, now that we've covered the basic admin setup, it's time to create our sessions. Let's first look at how to create a session manually, and then we'll show you how to create many sessions at one time by using our bulk session import feature. From the admin dashboard, click Manage Sessions, and then choose Create a New Session. I'm going to show you the main fields that will always need to be configured for a session, but there are a number of other optional fields that can be set as well. A link to an article with descriptions of all optional fields can be found below. For attendance tracking purposes, you'll always need to enter the session name, date, start and end times. If you're using our standard attendee self-check-in mode, you'll want to enable the options to require attendees to check in and check out of the session. You don't need to worry about turning these requirements on if you're only using our kiosk or self-reporting mode though. Next, assign the type of credit, or the field of study, and the corresponding number of credits that can be earned. You can assign more than one type of credit if needed. For example, the first hour of a session may be for tax credit, but the second hour may be for auditing. When you're done, scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. We can see that our session has now been created on our app. Rather than creating each session one by one, we typically recommend using our bulk import feature, which allows you to quickly create many sessions at one time. From the admin dashboard, go to Manage Sessions, click Bulk Actions, and then choose Import Sessions. The instructions on this page include a link that you can use to download our import spreadsheet template. Please note that you'll need to complete the spreadsheet in the exact format provided in the template. Don't reorder, delete, or add any new columns. Fill in the session name, date, start, and end times. You can just leave fields blank if you're not using them. Type presenters' first and last names in the same line. If the session has more than one presenter, just use a comma to separate their names. To require check-in and check-out, you can simply type yes in those cells. Once your spreadsheet is complete, save the file, navigate back to Conferences.io, and re-upload it. We can now see that all 50 of those sessions have been created for us, in a fraction of the time it would have taken to create each one manually. If you ever need to make changes to the information for a session, you can go to the Manage Sessions page and click Edit located under the name of the session. For example, if the time of one specific session happens to change, I can easily make that adjustment. Just make sure to click Save when you're done. However, let's say that for whatever reason, your entire course schedule changed for the year, and every session that you've already created now has a different date. Rather than editing each session one by one, you can use our bulk edit feature to make a high volume of changes at one time. To do this, navigate back to Manage Sessions, click Bulk Actions, and choose Update Session Details. A spreadsheet will be downloaded which contains the information of all sessions currently on your app. One key note here is to make sure not to touch the first column, which is labeled as Internal ID. This unique number is how Conferences.io identifies which session is which. So any changes to those IDs will cause some real problems. You can make as many changes to any of the other cells as you want to though. And when you're done, just resave the file, go back to Conferences.io to upload it, and Conferences.io will make all of those changes for you.